안녕하세요. 반갑습니다. Welcome to another live class here on YouTube. I think we're live. Please do tell me whether you can hear me well. 잘 들리는지 알려주세요. And we were chatting in the chat box. What time is it over there? 지금 몇 시예요? 한국은 아침 7시 30분입니다. 아침 7시 30분, or you can say 7시 반, 7 hours and a half, 7:30 a.m. in Korea. 새벽 3시, 새벽 4시, 아침 6시. So yeah, what is the distinction for you between 아침 and 새벽? You know, 새벽 is like really early hours of the morning or the night. So sometimes 1 a.m. can be 새벽. Sometimes 4 a.m. can be 새벽 for some people and 아침 for certain really super early birds. But anyway, it is 7:30 a.m. Definitely not 새벽 for me. I'm an early riser. 저는 일찍 일어나는 편이에요. So today we're going to have a sentence pattern clinic, and I would like your participation in today's class. As always, but today more participation will be appreciated because we are going to have you write some variations of Korean sentences based on the, key sentences that I give you at first. So let me show you right away. But before we begin, please click open the description during the class or after the class. And also, if you are watching this as a recording after this live class is over, we have all the tools and materials that are necessary for your Korean learning and growth in the Korean language in the description. So our courses, our Korean speaking app Seo, which will get a massive update very soon. It did get an update for Android devices. So if you are using Seo on an Android phone, go to the App Store and update it. You will really enjoy the new update. I will tell you more about it once we have the update applied to iOS devices as well. And we have the reading app, Talk to Me in Korean Stories, through which you can learn Korean through stories, engaging stories that are perfect for your current level. And then we, of course, have books. We have published over 40 books over the past 17 years, and we have actually sold more than 1 million copies around the world. So yeah, our books are in many, many households around various parts of the world. Okay, so, you already have the update, Maria-님. Thank you. All right, cool. And let's begin. Please remember to click open the description and just click on everything and look around our sites and apps, okay? Perfect. So let's get started. And here's one last bit of message that I want to give you. If you are taking the TOPIK test in Korea at the end of February, right? There's an exam in February, right? On the 28th. Please do check out our latest publication, TOPIK 2, the final step. You can get it on Kyobo bookstore. You can go to any online bookstore to get it. And yeah, if you're in Korea, you can just physically go to a bookstore and get it. That'll be the fastest way. And this will be really, really useful for you. And that'll make sure, this book will make sure that you get the desired outcome. Okay? TOPIK 2 and TOPIK 1 is coming soon. All right. These are the 5 sentences that we are working with today. Okay? Today, to remind you, is a Korean sentence pattern clinic class. So how will it work? I get some questions here. So please keep your questions coming. I will try to look, in between sessions and sentences, elements. But then if I miss your question and you believe your question will benefit other people if I answer it, please repeat it at least just once toward the end of the class. I will try to answer as many questions as possible because I love answering learner questions. All right. So what I want you to do, this is important. These 5 sentences, I will explain what they mean and how they work, how they are structured. And I want you to give me your, I guess, all your possible variations based on each sentence. So for example, 그럴 수밖에 없었어요 is what we have right now. How else would you say it? How else can you say it? You want to express the same meaning, but you're not allowed to say the exact same thing. You saw in the thumbnail, every learner of any language will experience this situation, this problem, this challenge where, okay, you know how to say certain things, but then you are repeating the same expressions over and over again, and sometimes a certain expression, a certain format won't exactly fit a certain situation. So you want to be a little bit more flexible. You want to make it slightly more formal. You want to make it slightly less formal, more polite, intentionally less polite. Okay? So that's what we're going to do. 그럴 수밖에. Oh, you guys are already starting. 그럴 수밖에 없었어요. Let me read the sentences once and then start working with you. Okay? So not yet. 그럴 수밖에 없었어요. This means there was no other way. That was the only option I had. 이거 어떻게 하면 돼요? 이거 어떻게 하면 돼요? So how do I deal with this? Or what do I do now with this? And then, or how do you do this? Even the English translation can be pretty diverse, right? So we're going to do the opposite with Korean. You have a core message, situation, image, and then we're going to try and express it in as many diverse ways as possible. And once you give me your own sentences, I will give you feedback and corrections if necessary. Understood? 좋아요? 어때요? 괜찮죠? And since from the beginning of the year, I can't believe it's already February, at least in some parts of the world. In the month of January, we went through several topics that are really important in learning Korean, about how to learn and about how you can continue improving, how you can sound more accurate and also confident, stuff like that. And now we're going into more specific, some specifics of how you can improve, all right? And if you like this kind of format, I will continue with this format for the next couple of weeks, okay? 오늘은 좀 어렵고 내일은 어떠세요? Today I can't. How about tomorrow? 어디에서 만나면 좋을까요? Where shall we meet? Where should we meet? 저는 한국어 공부하는 거 좋아해요. I like to study Korean. So those are the sentences. That's the meaning of each sentence. Let's work with the first sentence here. 그럴 수밖에 없었어요. So I'm going to explain it, and then in the meantime, please give me all the possible variations that you think are possible to more or less express the same meaning. What can you say? 그럴 수밖에 없었어요. 그렇다 is to be like that, to be so. I am going to break it down for you. But it can also mean the same thing as 그렇게 하다, to do like that, to do so. And then 수 is way, method. 수. 밖에, when you use it with a negative sentence structure, it means only negative. Okay, so altogether the sentence means 그럴 수밖에 or 그렇게 할 수밖에. Other than doing it like that, there was no other possibility. 없었어요 in the past tense. So that's how you break it down. Let's see. 마헬님 어쩔 수 없었어요. This is good. Very good. 어쩔 수 없었어요. Excellent. 어쩔 수 없었어요. 어쩔 수 없었어요. If you also break it down or trace it back to the original form, it is 어떻게 할 수 없었어요, right? Because 어쩌다 is 어떻게 하다, 어떻게 하다. It is shortened from 어떻게 하다. 그 다음에 그럴 수밖에 excuse me 없었어. Okay, so I'm going to underline the sentences that I approve. Alright? 그럴 수밖에 없었어. Yeah, in 반말. 반말. If you are just switching to casual language with somebody. And then, I like this one. 다른 방법이 없어요. Okay. Let's switch it to 다른 방법이 없었어요. Okay. There was no other method. Let me just get some water. Keep your sentences coming. 1 second. Excuse me. Okay, I'm good. I'm good now. And then 그럴 수가 없었어요. Okay. 그건 필연적인 것이었다. Alright. It was inevitable. 다른 방법이 없었어요. 필연적이다 is to be inevitable. Inevitable. 필연적이다. It sounds very formal and literary-like, literature-like, formal and literary. But sometimes it is necessary. I won't underline it here because it's not like, I don't know, common in everyday speech, but still very good expression. All right, great. And I'm going to give you my own variations. All right. Here, okay. 그럴 수 없을 리가 없어요. All right, that's complicated. Here's my variations. All right. So, once again, what is the main sentence? 그럴 수밖에 없었어요. That was the only option. I couldn't think of any other way. 그럴 수밖에 없었어요. That was the only thing I could do. So, because 그럴 수밖에, essentially, 그럴 수 is 그렇게 할 수. 그렇게 할 수. So you can say 그렇게 할 수밖에 없었어요. Other than doing that, there was nothing else I could do. 다른 방법이 없었어요. Yes, we had it earlier, right? Thank you for predicting that. 다른 방법이 없었어요. And then 다른 방법, a different method, you can also change it to 다르게 할 방법. A method in which you do it differently. 다르게. So, 다르다 is the descriptive verb for to be different. As you know, in Korean, 다르다 is the verb form, and then you have to conjugate it into the adjective form. 다른, different, and 다르게 is differently. I don't know what's up with my voice today. Excuse me. 다르게. I'm just too excited to see you, right? 그리고 다르게 할 방법이 없었어요. And then, yes, that's a good one. 다른 수가 없었어요. 다른 수가 없었어요. That's good. 다른 방법, instead of 다른 방법, you can say in this context, 다른 수가 없었어요. It doesn't mean there was no other number, because 수 can also mean a number. It's an homonym. Same sound, different meaning. So it's a different word, not the same word with different meanings or several meanings. So as another word, 수 can, yes, indeed be a number, but in this case, it's a method or situation, possibility. 다른 수가 없었어요. It does sound a little more formal. 그렇게밖에 할 수가 없었어요. So here, it's just a reorganization of words in the same sentence. 그렇게 할 수밖에 없었어요. You can move 밖에 to the end of 그렇게 and say 그렇게밖에 할 수가 없었어요. So, ideally, 그렇게 할 수밖에 없었어요. Ideally, guys, if you can say this, you need to also be able to say 그렇게밖에 할 수 없었어요. Same exact length of a sentence, but the words being in different order, okay? In a different order. 그렇게 할 수밖에 없었어요. 그렇게밖에 할 수 없었어요. So you need to be able to say both. So if you know one version only, it is a good opportunity to learn the other one today. 그렇게밖에 할 수 없었어요. All right. That's good. And then 달리 좋은 방법이 생각이 안 났어요. This is another good way to express your situation, explain your situation. 달리 is the same as 다르게 as an adverb. All right? 달리, 다르게. 좋은 방법이 생각이 안 났어요. So I couldn't think of any other different good method. All right? And then 마헤르님, 뭔가 굉장히 어휘가 풍부하시네요. You have a very big vocabulary. 다른 도리가 없었어요. 다른 도리가 없었어요 does sound even more formal than 다른 수. 다른 도리가 없었어요. I wouldn't recommend saying it in spoken Korean these days. 다른 도리가 없었습니다. Like, yeah, it's very, very formal. All right, cool. How's it so far? So, 그럴 수밖에 없었어요. Let's scroll back. If you understand this sentence, that's great. If you can use it already for yourself, that's amazing. But if you can also say these variations, that's fantastic. This is what you want to strive for. 이렇게 한 가지 표현만 하지 않고 다양하게 연습해 보는 거 정말 좋아요. So, how do you go from here to here? How do you go from saying one fixed thing several times, over and over again, to being able to switch between several options? Well, there are two ways. One is to read a lot. You have to read a lot. You have to listen to a lot of stuff and notice. Oh, okay. I thought that was the only way to say it, but you can say it like that. For example, when somebody is learning English, you learn the principles first, like there are many people, the English sentence, there are many people. But then you watch something, you read something, and then you see there's many people. Okay, so you are allowed to use the singular form there is for plural nouns which come after. Oh, all right, I notice it. I will try saying it. So sometimes you go, there are many people, and then sometimes you also go, there's many people. That's how you expand. That's one way, by exposure, input, a lot of input. You have to actually have a ton of input, more input than you think, right? To continue improving. And then the other method is just experimenting with your imagination. Okay, can I switch? Can I make it longer? 그렇게, 그럴 수밖에, 그렇게 할 수밖에. Can I put 밖에 here instead of that? And does it work? Does it sound natural? You can ask your friends, ask your teacher, ask on the online forums. By the way, we have our own forums on the Talking Korean website. You know that, right? We have a community where you can ask other learners questions and connect with them. Or you can ask an AI agent, right? So that's how you do it. And that way you will hear other Korean speakers say, wow, your sentences are so flexible, right? The patterns, yeah. 좋아요. Okay, that's sentence number 1. We have 4 more sentences, key sentences. So But what if you translate it more directly, like 다른 선택 없었어요? Yep, that's also potentially a good method. 다른. Okay, so to sum up what I said about how to achieve this kind of sentence flexibility or freedom to express your ideas more flexibility is tons of input and noticing, and then deliberate practice of writing various or composing diverse sentence forms, and then trying a literal translation or word for word translation. And 다른 선택 없었어요 is an example of the third category. So it wouldn't sound natural in Korean, but you can say 다른 선택지가 없었어요. So 선택 is a choice, and the options or the choices that you can choose from, several options you can choose from is 선택지. So 선택지가 4개 있어요. You have 4 options to choose from. 선택지는 2개예요. You have 2 options to choose from. So that sounds really formal. So you need to add that little letter, 선택지, 다른 선택 없었어요. If you say it like this without changing it, it sounds like no other choice was made, but also very formally. Okay? All right. I mean, these variations are not going to be the entire selection. There can be, if we are creative, there can be, a dozen other ways to say the same thing. But that's the fun part. Okay, let's move on to the next sentence. 네, 다음으로 가볼까요? 이거 어떻게 하면 돼요? Is the next sentence. Give me your variations. 이거 어떻게 하면 돼요? Alright. Trisha, 이거 어떻게 하는지 아세요? Do you okay, 어떻게? Do you know how to do this? Alright, that's good. 네. Oh, I love this comment. Thank you for the details in your explanations. Thank you for enjoying the details. I really firmly believe that all these details are important. 좋아요. 이거 어떻게 할 수 있어요? 좋아요. 이거 어떻게 하는 거예요? 사용 방법을 알려주시겠어요? Alright, that's good. 사용 방법을 알려주시겠어요? 이거 어떻게 하면 되죠? Okay, so we're getting more answers, more variations for this one because this is more of an everyday usage. 이런 식으로 해도 되나요? That's great. 너무 잘하시는데요? 여러분 아주 잘하고 있어요. 이거 어떻게 하면 되는 거예요? 좋아요. 이거 어떻게 하면 돼요? As you know, if you are not familiar with this 면 돼요, it can take a little bit of time to get used to this. Like if you meet this condition, 돼요, because 돼요 is this omnipotent word. 되다 can mean so many things. 되다, it means to become, to work. What else? When it's negative, so 되다, you're allowed. So to function, you're allowed. Something is allowed, to be allowed. It can be used in so many ways. So 으면 되다 is like, how should I? 이거 어떻게 하는지 아세요? Do you know how to do this? How can you use this? How can you do this? 어떻게 하는 거예요? How do you use this? So obviously we are omitting 사용 or 이용. That part is implied. 사용 방법. usage method. Literally speaking, how to use. 알려주시겠어요? Would you be kind enough to let me know? 이거 어떻게 하면 되죠? How do I do this? All right, so that's good. Thank you. I need black looks good on me. 감사합니다. All right, these are the variations that I prepared, that I had thought of for you. Some of these are similar to your sentences, right? So 이거 어떻게 하면 돼요? Changes to 해야 돼요. 하면 돼요. Do you see the difference? There's a slight difference between the meaning of this sentence and the meaning of this sentence. So 으면 되다, because essentially it's conditional. If I do this, it's okay, it's acceptable. And 해야 되다, it means you must do this for it to be acceptable. So this one is more obligatory than this one. This one is what do I need to do for it to work? And this is what should I do? Okay? And then instead of asking somebody directly, you can kind of throw the question in the air and say, hey, let's split the responsibility half and half between you and me. 될까요? And similarly, 되나요? Okay? So these are the same identical sentences, but using different endings. 어떻게 해야 돼요? 100% asking the other person. I should make a video out of this for the mini Korean lesson series on Instagram and Facebook. 될까요? I wonder how I should do this. And then 이거 어떻게 하는 거예요? This is more like, how do you do this? Right? I think we saw it here. And then one funny thing is 어떻게 하다 is shortened to 어쩌다. So you don't write this very commonly, but you say it often. 어째야 돼요? 이거 어째야 돼요? 어떻게 해야? 어째야. And then more plainly, 이거 어떻게 해요? How do you do this? All right. I see more sentences here. 이거 어떻게 써요? Yeah, how do you use this? All right, cool. Linka7363. Glad I refreshed my YouTube home to spot the live. Yes. Thank you. 어째라는 노래가 있어요. 맞아요. 어째 is 어떻게 해. Right? Kind of like 그래 is 그렇게 해 in some contexts, not always, right? Perfect. So, I guess this one was a little easier. Again, how do you go from this to being able to say all of these without, too much trouble? Here are the 3 ways. Tons of input. Please make sure you have enough input. Reading, listening, and watching, and noticing. If you have a lot of input, there's merit in just getting input. Even if you don't notice things, you can learn by osmosis, right? But then you have to notice to learn faster. I'm going to take notes for the videos. 일까요? And then, okay, so because I've been posting lots of mini lessons. Have you seen those? All right. And then try many sentences. And let's move on to sentence number 3. And before we move on, yes, there was, I don't know what happened exactly, so we'll look into it. I'm sorry for the inconvenience with the YouTube membership to this channel being paused, because we got notification from YouTube that our AdSense settings are a bit off. So yeah, the monetization is temporarily off, and that's related to the membership, right? So we'll restore it as soon as possible tomorrow. I've already sent a note to the team. Hey guys, look into this. Something's up. So they'll look into it. All right. 좋아요. Oh, you love the mini lessons on Instagram. Thank you. I have endless ideas for these mini lessons, and some of these mini lessons can be related to our actual curriculum based lessons, of course. You know, I can go from teaching what 안녕하세요 means in detail to super advanced expressions. So what I'm trying to do is keep a nice balance between beginner and like advanced stuff. Milov's Pokes says, I thought hubby didn't pay. Well, yeah. Thank you for asking, and we will look into it tomorrow. And Tanikanim, thank you. I saw your comment on the Talk to Me in Korean Hindi channel. So if you didn't know, please click on the Talk to Me in Korean logo after this live class is over to go to our YouTube page, and you will see the posts tab, and you will see a link to our experiment of teaching Korean in Hindi. Obviously, I didn't teach that lesson because I don't speak Hindi, but I worked with two of my friends, Aman and Charlie. Charlie is a Korean person who speaks perfect Hindi, and then Aman is an Indian person who speaks really, really near perfect Korean. So they taught a beginner lesson in Hindi. That was really exciting, right? Okay, I should start learning Hindi. I did learn some elements while I was watching them teach. So that was fun. Okay, next. 오늘은 좀 어렵고 내일은 어떠세요? 빅뱅 XP. 오늘 안 되는데. Okay, this is nice and very direct. Instead of using 좀, you can say 오늘 안 되는데 내일 어때요? Very blunt and plain and sometimes nice. 오늘은 좀 어렵고 내일은 어떠세요? Okay, the same sentence. Jian Kim, it's okay to type the same sentence for your practice. 오늘은 못해서 내일은 어때요? Okay. So this one is good, but you might need some specific information about like what you can't do. So 하다 isn't used on its own in this case like that. So you will need to fill in the blank. 오늘은 바빠요. 내일은 괜찮을까요? 오늘은 바빠요. 내일은 괜찮을까요? I am busy today. Will tomorrow work? All right. Be careful though. 내일 is your nails. Okay? Nail shop is your mani-pedi shop, right? Fingernails, nail shop. 그 다음에 오늘 좀 바빠서 내일 만나면 괜찮을까요? This one is great. 오늘 좀 바빠서 내일 만나면 괜찮을까요? But I would suggest two small changes. 오늘 좀 바빠서 서 is not very commonly used with a direct suggestion unless it's the end of a sentence like this. 오늘 좀 바빠서요. Okay? You finish the sentence here. 오늘 좀 바빠서요. 그래서 그러니까 that part is omitted. 내일 만나도 괜찮을까요? That would be more natural. 오늘 너무 힘들고 내일은 모든 게 잘 될까요? is 달리아's sentence. 오늘 너무 힘든데 you can kind of have a pause there. 내일은 모든 게 잘 될까요? Will everything go smoothly, go well tomorrow? I hope everything goes smoothly for you tomorrow. And 넘 and 내일, I recommend that you use the full forms, 내일. It is great to understand the shortened, abbreviated forms, but it is much better to use the full forms. Okay, lots of great variations. Thank you. 오늘은 오늘은 조금 어렵고 내일은 어떤 것 같아요? And then 마헤르님, 오늘은 일정이 빠듯해서 그런데 혹시 내일 편하신 시간에 뵙는 건 어떠실지요? Who are you? Like, how are your sentences so advanced? That's great. So, let me explain these two sentences and give you what I prepared. 오늘은 조금 어렵고, it's a little difficult today. People often say 어렵고 when you can't, basically. You want to say I can't, but that's too direct in Korean. You have to say 어려워요. 내일은 어떤 것 같아요? How about tomorrow? 어떠세요? Instead of 어떠세요? What do you think? Or how do you think tomorrow is? And then 네, 아까 마헤르님의 문장이죠. 오늘은 일정 is your schedule. 일정이 빠듯하다. It's a set, fixed expression. 일정이 빠듯하다. Your schedule is full. 일정이 빠듯해서 그러는데 so technically speaking this is a little better than 그런데 일정이 빠듯해서 그러는데 I'm saying this because my schedule is full. 혹시 by any chance 내일 tomorrow 편하신 시간에 at your convenience or at your convenient time 편한 시간 is a convenient time for either me or you, but 편하신, because of that she there, it directs the other person. It's, directed to the other person. 뵙는 건 어떠실지요? What do you think about me seeing you at your convenience? So 뵙다 means you're lowering yourself instead of 보다. And 어떠실지요? What do you think? Okay. That's great. Here are my sentences. I think these are similar to yours. 오늘은 좀 어려운데 내일은 어떠세요? 오늘은 좀 어려울 것 같고 내일도 괜찮으세요? So instead of just saying 내일은, how about tomorrow? You can also say, does tomorrow also work as an option, as a choice? So it's very common. 내일도 괜찮으세요? By saying 내일도, you don't mean that today also works. You're just saying, can you also consider tomorrow? It's very common in spoken Korean. Can you also, check if it's okay to meet tomorrow? 내일도 괜찮으실까요? Again, it doesn't mean today also works. It's not both this and that. How about we consider tomorrow as well? Because today 좀 어려워요. 어려워서요. 어려울 것 같은데요. 어려울 것 같고, lots of endings, right? 어려울 것 같고, 어려울 것 같은데요, 어려워서요. These are all usually accompanied by a little bit of pause and your facial expression that expresses hesitation. Like when you say this sentence, you don't want to look happy. You want to look like you're hesitant. 오늘은 좀 어려울 것 같은데요. 혹시, and then you want to go 혹시, make it linger a little bit. 괜찮으세요? 내일도 괜찮으세요? All right. 2 more sentences. 어디에서 만나면 좋을까요? Where should we meet? Where shall we meet? How do you make this sentence more diverse? Okay? 어디에서 만나면 좋을까요? Gospel sound, if you just joined, yes, this is a sentence pattern clinic, as you can see here, the title. So your job is to try to make this sentence different by creating several variations while keeping the main meaning. 어디에서 만나면 좋을까요? What time? Where shall we meet? 트리샤님의 문장, 장소는 어디가 편하세요? This is great. I love it. 장소는 어디가 편하세요? As for the location, where is convenient for you. This 편하다 doesn't mean comfortable. It's convenient because 편하다 can mean both convenient and comfortable. Another note to take. Okay. Thank you for giving me an idea for the next mini Korean lesson. And then 어디에서 만나면 좋을래요. Okay, 좋을래요. I wouldn't use it. 좋을까요 is better. You can say 어디에서 만나실래요. SMA Sai 15 어디에서 만나실래요. Try using this one. 어디에서 만나실래요. Because 레요 is suggesting. So 어디에서 만나실래요. 어디에서 만나면 될 것 같아요. 어디에서 만나면 될 것 같아요. If we meet where it will work, you think. 어디에서 만나면 될 것 같아요. This one is very casual sounding, in my opinion. 어디에서 만나면 될 것 같아요. Even though the politeness level is technically the same. 을까요? 같아요. This one, because it's more directly a question to the other person, you're asking the other person, so where do you think we should meet? It's more like that. So it feels more casual. Instead of 장소는 어디가 편하세요? I will adjust your preference, which location is convenient for you. Okay. 우리 어디서 만나? Okay. Casual language. 우리 어디서 만나? Where are we meeting tomorrow? Alright. 어디에서 보는 게 괜찮아요? In this case, 어디에서 보는 게 좋을까요? I would expect the sentence to end like this in most cases. 어디에서 보는 게 좋을까요? 어디에서 보는 게 instead of 괜찮다, 좋을까요? Because 괜찮다 is to be okay. It's often more commonly associated with 더 괜찮다. Like it's okay to do something. Even if you do something, it's okay. And then 보는 게 is short for 보는 것이, right? It's the subject. Seeing or meeting up here is, you need to have a more affirmative verb. 좋다, 편하다, 편리하다, etc. Good, convenient, right? 편하다. Instead of okay. Because 보는 게 제일 좋아요. It's the best. And then if you say 여기서 보는 게 괜찮아요, it kind of loses its, like the sentence loses its steam a little bit, energy a little bit. That's the dynamic. So yeah, thank you for giving us the opportunity to talk about it. Alright, 마헤르님, 계신 쪽으로 제가 갈까요? That's fantastic. 장소는 어디가 편하세요? I love this one, and I love this one equally as much. 계신 쪽으로 제가 갈까요? 계신 쪽 is side, part, location. 쪽, 이쪽, 저쪽, this side, that side, right? 계시다 is to be located, but honorific, 계시다. So 계시다's, even though 계시다 is translated to be, you can never be 계시다 yourself. It's the other person, a third person. 계시다, 계신 쪽. These three letters, 계신 쪽, means where you are. Okay, where you are, wherever you are. 으로, to wherever you are. 제가 갈까요? Shall I go to where you are? 계신 쪽으로 제가 갈 수 있습니다. This is something that I sometimes say to, the other person that I'm meeting. I can go to where you are. 계신 쪽으로 제가 갈 수 있습니다. Or 계신 쪽으로 제가 갈게요. I will go to wherever you are. You don't need to say the 호칭, how to address the other person. Like you can say 선생님 계신 쪽. If the other person, I call that person teacher, 선생님, or 대표님, the CEO of another company, 대표님, 교수님, a professor, like that. All right. And these are my variations that I had thought of, just to give you an idea. Quite short, right? 어디에서 만나는 게 좋을까요? 만나는 게 좋을까요? 어디에서 만날까요? Where shall we meet? Very casually and kind of plainly. 어디에서 만나요? Where do we meet? Also casual sounding. 어디에서 봐요? If your relationship with the other person is casual enough, you can say 보다. 어디에서 봐요? You can even drop 에 here. 어디서 봐요? Like that. 어디서 봐요? And if you want to kind of take it one notch up, 어디에서 보실까요? Can also work. And then 어디에서 보면 될까요? 어디에서 보면 될까요? Where should we meet? Also quite comfortable sounding. And then this one can be neutral. Where shall I go? Where shall I go? 어디로 갈까요? So where's the meeting point? Where's the meeting point? Where do you want me? 어디로 갈까요? Okay, so use any of these sentences and you will sound okay. 어디에서 만나면 좋을까요? And finally, we have one more sentence. This one, I know it's a very familiar sounding sentence. 저는 한국어 공부하는 거 좋아해요. I like to study Korean, or I like studying Korean. Can you make this one more diverse? Can you make variations based on this one as well? It'll be a fun exercise for you. 저는 한국어를 배울수록 더 재미있어요. Okay. 저는 한국어를 배울수록 더 재미있어요. This one is great, but I want to make it better. 저는, thank you for your sentence, Charity님. 한국어를 배울수록 더 재미있는 것 같아요. I think just for the pure balance of the sentence, for example, 재미있어요. Look at this one. 한국어를 배울수록 this part is longer, and then you don't want to end the sentence too quickly and abruptly with a short word like this. And 재미있어요, even though it's 5 syllables, it's such an easy word. It feels short, in my opinion. So you want to say 재미있는 것 같아요. Or another possibility is, because this portion is kind of separated from 재미있어요, 저는, it can be misunderstood as I am funny. 저는 재미있어요. So 한국어를 배울수록 더, you want to kind of hint, 한국어가 더 재미있는 것 같아요, or 더 재미있어지는 것 같아요. I think the more Korean I learn, the more fun it becomes, I think. 그렇게 할 수 있어요. 그 다음에 트리샤님, 한국어 공부에 푹 빠졌어요. Okay, you are deep into learning Korean. 푹 빠지다, 푹. 빠지다 is fall into. 푹 is a mimetic word for falling deep or digging deep. 푹, okay? When you put a fork like deep into, let's say, a piece of bread, cake, 푹, 포크를 푹, you can say, 포크로 푹 찔렀어요, like that. 푹. 저는 한국어 공부를 엄청 좋아해요. 오케이, 한국어 공부를 엄청 좋아해요. 한국어 공부에 관심이 많아요. Okay, I have a lot of interest in studying Korean. 탈리아님, 한국어를 공부하는 건 저에게 소확행이에요. It's a buzzword, 소확행, that isn't very commonly seen these days anymore, but if you say it, everybody will understand. I believe it's 소소하지만 확실한 행복. So I might be wrong, but this is the original meaning. If you expand it, 소확행. So it's tiny, sometimes minuscule, 확실한, certain happiness. So 소확행. It's just used like that. 소확행, 소확행. So small but certain happiness. 소확행. Studying Korean to me is 소확행. 그 다음에 한국어 공부하는 게 제 삶의 낙이에요. Very formal sounding poetry line. 제 삶의 낙. 삶의 낙. So 낙. 낙 is what's a 오락 is entertainment. One entertainment. 오락. This 락 is here. But because it's the first syllable of this word, it's just one syllable, but it changes to 낙 instead of 락. So 삶의 낙 is the joy of life. Wow, lots of, this is the most number of variations that I'm getting for the key sentence. I can see that you guys have actually thought about this a lot. Enjoying learning Korean. The fact that you like to study Korean, you have expressed this thought, this emotion in various ways. That's amazing. 한국어 공부에 흥미가 있습니다. 흥미 is interest. More formal sounding than 관심. 제 취미가 한국어 공부하기예요. 오케이. 제 취미는 한국어 공부하기예요. Would you be able to, I'm asking everyone, would you be able to explain the difference between these two sentences? How are these two different? 제 취미가 한국어 공부하기예요. When would the first sentence sound more natural as opposed to the second sentence sounding natural? 제 취미는 한국어 공부하기예요. 제 취미가 한국어 공부하기예요. Here's my answer. Please keep thinking about your answer. 제 취미는 한국어 공부하기예요 would work in most cases, in most scenarios. 제 취미는 한국어 공부하기예요 because you are introducing your hobby for the first time as a topic. And then this one will be very fitting if somebody asks you, how do you speak Korean so well? How does your Korean sound so natural? Why do you know so much Korean? So a question was asked, and as an explanation, you know why? It's because my hobby is learning Korean. 제 취미가 한국어 공부하기예요. Haha, that's why. So in that case, the first sentence will work. Excuse me. Yeah. The foundational difference is that the first one is the subject and the second is the topic. And because of that, the kind of vibe is different. 너무 좋아요. These are my sentences. So the key sentence is here. 저는 한국어 공부하는 거 좋아해요. I like to study Korean, and these are my variations. 저는 한국어 공부가 좋아요. As you know, 좋아해요 is to like something, to enjoy something as an active action, right? But 좋아요 is, it originally means to be good, but you can use it to mean you like something, but you need to use the subject marker because that is good to me. 저는 한국어 공부가 좋아요. Like that. So think of an actor or actress name that you like. 저는 so and so를 좋아해요. 저는 so and so가 좋아요. Kind of a pair that you can remember. You cannot say so and so를 좋아요. You cannot also say 전 so and so가 좋아해요. That doesn't mean the same thing. Okay. And you can say 한국어, instead of saying 좋아해요, you can say 한국어 공부하는 게 재미있어요. 게 is short for 거시, studying Korean. The act of studying Korean is fun. And you can also say I find it fun. 재미있더라고요. It's a intermediate and above grammar pattern, grammar point. 재미있더라고요. 저는 한국어 공부를 좋아하는 편이에요. Yeah, I quite like studying Korean. I tend to like studying Korean. 요새 즐겁게 하고 있어요. Or 재미있게 하고 있어요. I am enjoying learning Korean these days. Oh, okay. 재미있더라고요. To explain it, 재미있더라고요. So and so 더라고요 is the grammar point. And it's an observation. Expression of observation. Usually something that you saw firsthand. 사람이 많더라고요. You cannot say 사람이 많더라고요 about a place that is like full of people that you haven't seen. You have to have been to, let's say, a marketplace, a department store, some festival, and say, "Oh, yeah, there were a lot of people. I saw. I was there." So it's an observation. 재미있더라고요. 맛있더라고요. So this is a good one. 맛있어요. It's delicious. Okay, it's delicious. I tried it and I found it delicious. And for your advanced speakers, here's another one. 맛있다더라고요. Just adding this 다. 맛있어요. You tasted it yourself. 맛있더라고요. You tasted it yourself. 맛있다더라고요. You did not taste it yourself. 맛있다더라고요. Because 맛있다더라고요 means 맛있다고 하더라고요. What you observed is 맛있다고 하 part. Somebody 말했어요. So you heard someone saying that it's delicious. Okay? So if you can, repeat after me. 맛있어요. 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 This one, 3 times. 맛있더라고요. 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 This one is like a tongue twister. 맛있다더라고요. 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 Like that. All right. 한국어를 공부하는 것에 꽂혔어요. Yeah, it is natural. 한국어를 공부하는 것에 꽂혔어요. So, 꽂히다, 꽂다 is to stick something into so and so, right? 꽂히다, because of the passive voice part, is you are fixated, to be fixated onto something. Okay? So, 꽂혔어요. 요즘에 제가 꽂혀 있어요. 요즘 제가 꽂혀 있는, let's say a video game, 게임이 있어요. 요즘 제가 꽂혀 있는 유튜브 채널이 있어요. You are, in a positive way, obsessed with a YouTube channel or a video game or a language. 꽂혀 있어요. Like you are fixated onto something. you can't, stop thinking about it. Alright? 좋아요. 아주 잘하셨습니다. So let's scroll back to see today's key sentences one more time. These are the 5 sentences that we started with today in this live class. Can you believe that it's already been an hour? 60 minutes. Now, I would like to welcome your questions that you did not get a chance to ask me earlier before we wrap up. And like this, please, whenever you know you can say something confidently, if you can say a certain phrase with 100% confidence, 100% certainty that it sounds great, it works great, it just flows naturally, why stop there? Or you shouldn't stop. You need to look for other ways to say the same thing, more subtle ways to express the same overall idea. What are some things you learned? I learned in Hindi. Well, not very much, but मैं is I, and I could see that there's lots of similarity between the sentence, like word order between Korean and Hindi. Like when you want to say like 가고 싶어요, the 싶어요 part comes at the very end, just like in Korean. 그쵸? 그런 게 재미있었어요. 힌디어하고 한국어하고 문장 구조가 비슷하더라고요. 네, 또 질문해 주시면 감사하겠습니다. Language learning is so much fun, right? 너무 재미있잖아요. 언어 배우는 것이. 그래서 저도 힌디어는 아직 공부한 적은 없지만 그 채널을 만들면서 재미있었어요. Let me see if I can show you right now. I think I can. And here, look at this. So this is our website. You can visit these 4 pages by clicking open the description right now. This is our course site. You can start from Hangul and learn everything that there is in the Korean language, and also use our Talk to Me in Korean books to learn. And here is our topic book. Stories is our reading app. You can, let's try it in browser. Yeah, you can read stories that are for your level, even from level 1 and all the way to level 10. And Seo is our Korean speaking app. So this is our Talk to Me in Korean ecosystem. And we wanted to try something new. So we made this YouTube channel, Teaching Korean in Hindi. There's only one video. Oh, we already have 122 subscribers. That's amazing. So you can go to Talk to Me in Korean Hindi. This is the handle. And watch this video with Charlie and Aman. That's what we are talking about. 네. 좋아요. 한번 봐주세요. 그리고 다시 돌아와서 what languages have I found most challenging while learning? I don't know. I think all languages are equally challenging and equally simple to learn. Like you just have to put in the time. So I would say personally, the languages I have found to be challenging are languages that don't give me a lot of motivation to learn. I always say German and Chinese, because German, whenever I go to Germany, everybody speaks English or French. So I'm like, why do I have to learn this language other than the pure joy of understanding it? And Chinese, I can go to China and get buy things and ask for directions and stuff like that. So my tourism ready, travel ready Chinese is okay-ish. So I'm like, okay, I'll learn more later. So I have less motivation for Chinese and German than others. yeah. Other than that, I think every language in the world has evolved in a way that's in the most efficient form. It is easier than before to learn. So yeah. Any other questions you have? German, I love the technicality of the German grammar. How you have to think differently, and the numbers are different. I love it. I love the grammar and the sounds. A lot of people say German pronunciation is difficult, but I would say all the sounds that are in German are already in Chinese and French. So yeah, there's no new sounds that I found in German only. For sentence number 4, 어디에서 만나면 좋을까요? Can you say 어디에서 만나고 싶어요? If not, why? You can say 어디에서 만나고 싶어요. Here, let me just grab that. 어디에서 만나고 싶어요? Where do you want to meet? You can say it to somebody that you are pretty casual with. You don't want to say it to your professor. So that's the thing. Just because the sentence itself is in polite Korean or 존댓말, just because it's ending in 요 or so and so, 읍니다, 씁니다, doesn't mean you are necessarily sounding polite. And being sufficiently polite or appropriately polite is really important in Korean, as you know. So 어디에서 만나고 싶어요? It's like, hey, where do you want to meet? Very direct and very casual. So if that's the situation, absolutely works. How many hours a day should we study? I found the more I study, the more confused I get. I love this question. Thank you. Ideally, 2 hours a day is, I think, the golden standard. I think, in my opinion, like that's what you want to do. 2 hours a day, but not 2 hours of sitting at a desk studying with books or courses only. 2 hours of so for example, you can be listening to a podcast for 30 minutes a day, or you can be watching your drama at least with Korean subtitles only or without subtitles for 30 minutes a day. And then the rest can be filled with other activities. You can be studying. So I'm studying with this book for my Italian, as you can see. So I'm officially currently in between B1, B2 in Italian. So I'm trying to, let me show you. So this is what I did the other day. Can you see it? Or, yeah. So I read and solve questions here. So I do that, say, 30, 40 minutes a day. I want to be done with it. And I bought the first OPI test prep book for Italian last week or a couple of weeks ago. So studying with books, you can do it for 30, 40 minutes a day. And then if you find a certain book, like a Talk to Me in Korean book, so interesting that you don't know how, you don't notice the passage of time, and, you realize that you've spent just 2 hours studying with the books. That's fantastic. But it's hard for most people to do so. So you need to mix several things. And 2 hours a day, without studying every day, let's say you study for 5 days a week, and that'll give you 10 hours a week. And there are 52 weeks in a year. Let's take a couple of weeks off. 50 weeks, 10 hours a week, it'll give you 500 hours. And that's a really good amount to move you from the beginner category to the intermediate or even upper intermediate category. So if you can do more, 3 hours a day, that'll be 750 hours a year. Or if you can do 4 hours a day, that'll be 1,000 hours a year. And with all the tools that are available at our fingertips, we can learn a new language within 2 years to become very, very fluent. So yeah, if you ask me, please study for 2 hours, but then mix things up, make it more interesting for you. 한국어 팟캐스트 많아요. 추천할 한국어 팟캐스트는 we recently had a meetup, or yeah, was it recently? Yeah, 2 days ago on Friday, and we had TD's 한국어 팟캐스트. Go on Spotify and just type "Talk to me in Korean." I mean, I'm not just recommending TTMIC, but type "Talk to me in Korean." Our current season of our podcast is in English, but if you type that, there will be lots of related podcasts that are Korean education, and you will see lots of Korean podcasts that you can listen to. 또 어떤 질문이 있을까요? Why didn't I answer your question? I'm sorry, I didn't see it. I didn't see it. Can you ask me again? 죄송합니다. 체리티님, 감사합니다. 여기 질문은 아니지만 it's not a question, but here's a little preview about the Seyo app. Within the Seyo app, it'll soon become available in iOS as well. We now have a call feature. So you will get a call from the app, like you get a phone call from a friend at the time that you chose. Let's say 8 p.m. every day, 9 p.m. every day, 3 a.m. every day if you want. And then Seyo will call you and you will immediately start having a conversation with the app, with our AI agent. And then if you are done, once you're done practicing with the chatbot, you can move over to the human-based, unit-based practice sessions and then practice speaking. 좋아요. 그리고 또 다른 질문이 있을까요? 어쩐 일이세요? 이거 좋아요. Thank you for this question. 어쩐 일이세요? 무슨 일이세요? Let me just scroll you back down here. Okay, 무슨 일이세요 will be more common, I think. 어쩐 일이세요 is 어떻게 된 일이세요? It's short for 어떻게 된 일이세요. I guess the arrow should be flipped. So 어떻게 된 일이세요? What happened or how did this happen is 어떻게 된 일이세요? 일 here doesn't mean work, it means a situation. So 어쩐 일? Like, what kind of situation is it? 무슨 일이세요? What kind of occasion is it? What happened? What's up? So out of worry, what's going on? What's up? Out of worry, concern, 무슨 일이세요? So this is more common, and 어쩐 일이세요 is when it's number one, it sounds more casual, and number two, this is more common when someone visited you that you didn't expect. 어쩐 일이세요? 어쩐 일? So another very commonly used set expression is 어쩐 일로. Okay, 어쩐 일로. In what kind of occasion? Or for what kind of reason? And someone does something that they don't usually do, visiting you all of a sudden, 어쩐 일로, you never call me. Why are you calling me now? You never visit me. 어쩐 일로 왔어요? And you never wake up like early. 어쩐 일로 일찍 일어났어요? Yeah, that's how you explain it. How many languages do I speak? I speak Korean, English, French, Japanese. Those are the 4 languages in which I can have longer conversations. And I can go to China and speak some Chinese. to travel around. I speak some Spanish. Honestly speaking, I didn't invest a lot of time into it. I think my Italian is becoming way better than my Spanish because I am actively spending 1 or 2 hours every day. So those 7, I would say, yeah. So for my Chinese and Spanish, it really depends on the topic, whether I can really have conversations. It can be light conversations, but if I need to do something technical, yeah, I'm like, do you speak other languages? Or do you speak English? Okay. How can I overcome feeling blocked when trying to form sentences out loud? Well, in that case, I think it's a clear indicator that you need more input. You can never outgrow, your output can never outgrow your input. The input box is too small and your output box will have trouble expanding. So get a lot of input, and when you want to form sentences out loud, you'll be like, oh yeah, I know, I can say it because I've heard it 10 times before. Yes, I was learning French, and I still speak it occasionally. I'm not studying actively the French language, but yeah, I just enjoy learning more and more. And the only language that I need to use for work is English. And now Japanese, I created one piece of content in Japanese. So yeah, I'll do more languages in the future. So that's it. Thank you for joining today's live class, finishing a little earlier than usual, even though it's already been more than an hour. And thanks for joining this morning or enjoying the recording of this live class. And sorry about the issue with our membership, YouTube membership situation because of the misunderstanding on the YouTube settings. We'll restore it as soon as possible. And I will see you next week. 다음 주 라이브 수업 때 만나요. 감사합니다. 바이바이. 좋은 하루 보내세요.